Hello and welcome, my grandpas in pajamas. This is a very weird video, so before we even get started, I honestly want your guys' opinions. Throw them down in the comments below whether or not you like this kind of style, or you just completely hate it, because it's different. And whenever I try something different, I want to understand whether or not you guys are enjoying this content. So use the comments, use the like button, and let me know what you think about this. This one is an interesting video. We are going to be testing out 3 different forms of income. I'm going to test out just banana farm income, I'm going to test out merchant ship income, and then I want to test out a combination of farm merchant ship combo income. So you notice on the left is going to be banana farm income, on the middle is going to be merchant ship income, and on the right is going to be a combo. So I'm going to explain kind of how I went through this, and I'm going to get to the results a little early. So you guys will actually get to see it at the end for sure, but I'm going to get the results just a little bit earlier than the end so we can talk about why and how this might have actually happened, because everything is weird. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place is because I feel like merchant ship income is probably one of the weirdest things in the entire game. It, doesn't really necessarily make sense. Merchant ships make $220 if you get a merchant ship. And then, if you end up going for the 5th tier Trade Empire, you get that $220, plus you get an extra $20 per merchant ship times the number of merchant ships. So basically, every merchant ship is going to make more and more and more money. So as you get to that 20th merchant ship, you're making the most efficient income in the game. That's pretty wild. But is the build-up worth it to get to that case? Or is it better just to go with a less efficient but more consistent banana farm income? So that's what I wanted to try out today. Now, obviously, there are so many different things to deal with in this entire situation. There's almost too many variables to make sure that I say 100% for sure, whatever the result at the end of this video is, it is the answer. But I think we can get a good feeling for the answer based on what you're seeing right now, and hopefully by the end of the video, I will help you decide what you think is the best answer to go for. So it should be noted, a couple different things going on over here. On the left side, I do have to go for a lot of regular extra defense. I have to build tack shooters and boomerangs and cannons and things to make sure I'm actually going to defend over here. Where on the middle game, you're going to notice that I'm building a couple merchant ships, and then maybe I'll buy a couple extra grape shots before I get a merchant ship or something like that. But in general, I get the merchant ship. When I need the extra defense, I'll buy a grape shot. If I need a little extra defense like hot shots or something, I'll throw that extra down there as well to get that extra popping power. And on the right side, I still build those banana farms, and I still use the ships kind of as a defensive asset to my team, and I don't upgrade them to merchant ships until after the fact, until after I get some banana farms actually flowing in here. So it should also be noted that these are not 100% perfect on when the rounds are coming out. It was going to be a little bit too difficult to try to match these up time-wise, so I just kind of let it flow. So you're going to notice sometimes there's going to be lead balloons coming out on certain games, and other games that might not exactly be happening yet. So it's important to note all of those things, and the results at the end are really the big deal for us, the big, masterful answer to what is going to be the best thing. So in addition to asking you guys to let me know what you think about this video, let me know what you think is going to be the best eco to go for in the game. Banana farms, just merchant ships, or merchant ships with banana farms. Now, one other thing that I should mention before you even give me that answer in the comments below, though, is that if I max out the space of any of these guys, I swap back into using the other one. So, for example, if I run out of banana farm space, I'm going to start building some merchant ships. If I run out of merchant ship space, I start building banana farms. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It just helps us get us the answer by the time we get to the end of the game, what is technically the most efficient or one of the best ways to make money in the game. Come on. So we did use the best defense that I could possibly think of. And no, it might not be perfect, but I tried to be pretty efficient with my defense so far. I tried to get just what I needed to make sure that that was going to happen. And it might look a little funky because it might look like these games are merged into one, but they're actually 3 different games. Specifically, the first game and the second game, it might look like they're in the same game, playing at the same time. They're not. They are 2 different games. So I had to go on hard and record each one of these 3. Took about 15 to 17 minutes to beat those guys. So just 45 minutes of recording. Now I'm going in after the fact and actually commentating this, of course, after I tried to edit it. But I will admit that picture-in-picture is surprisingly difficult to edit on Vegas Pro for some reason. And that's what I use to edit if you didn't know. So I'm trying to go over the information here, but like I said, it gets a little funky. You're going to notice that even at this point in the game, going full merchant ships, I've only got 8 merchant ships so far. And at this point on the banana farm section, I'm getting most of my banana farms up to 3-2. And you notice very similar aspects on both of these banana farm plays. When I just go banana farms, but still build other towers in addition, the boats don't necessarily save me that much money or anything like that, which was kind of intriguing to me. And we basically get almost all the banana farms up very similarly, but still the banana farm game actually beat out when I went with better defenses like the boomerang and the tack shooter rather than spamming buccaneers when I actually needed them, which was honestly kind of confusing to me because I thought that that was not going to be the case. I thought I was easily going to get more banana farms using buccaneers because they're a really efficient tower, but they're still expensive. Alright, they're still reasonably expensive for what you're getting out of them compared to something small like a tack shooter and just surviving with one of those guys. Because I had to buy a lot of grape shots to make sure I was going to actually able to beat the Moab on round 40. Which was kind of surprising. Again, just different. So at this point, I'm already trying to get up my trade empire. You can notice the money's starting to get saved up over here. I'm in the 14 grand range. Same thing with my banana farm game. I'm starting to save up that money, get to my big boys here, and going for a 4th tier banana farm. On the right side, you're going to notice I don't have a lot of money saved up because I'm still spamming a bunch of random merchant ships. Just regular, old, low-level merchant ships up to 3rd tier. Trade empire is just about here. 4th tier banana farm is in play at this point. So I'm starting to make big money over here. I know that a lot of you guys probably at least know this, but don't know the numbers. But 4-2 banana farms are one of the most efficient banana farms in the game. Even slightly more efficient than a 5th tier banana farm, minus the bonuses that the 5th tier gives you, which is making extra money to all of the other 4th tier banana farms. And then merchant ships are actually slightly inefficient for making money. But once you get up to a trade empire, multiplying those out, again, they become the most efficient way to make money in the game. And what I mean by efficient is basically the amount of money that you put into it, how much money does it give it back, and how many rounds does it take to make that money back off of that. No, it's not a perfect number, but it does make a lot of sense in a lot of situations. It's one of the only ways to really break down the game into a one-number situation. That one number helps people understand the game. What is the efficiency? And it's kind of a made-up number. I made it up. I don't know if anybody else uses that, but I made up the efficiency term for my banana farms and for my other things, and I did all the math for all of these guys, and it's nice to know which ones are the most efficient, because generally that allows you to say that I want to go for that tower rather than go for something that is less efficient. It gets more confusing with banana farms with different upgrades like banks, because they're technically the most efficient in the game, but they also don't make you that money instantaneously, which could harm you. So it makes the numbers not necessarily perfect, but again, a really good explanation or understanding of how these things are actually going to go down. Alright, so we're about halfway through at this point. You notice our banana farms, we're going up to 4th tier for all of these guys. We do have to get a pretty decent amount of defense. We've got a boomerang, Quincy, dart monkey, and a ring of fire, and I also went for a mortar for my cam detection. You notice still struggling against these Bloons over here. We are really pushing it to its limit, trying to survive with the most minimal defense that we possibly can. As far as the merchant ship game goes, defense actually is not that bad. The only round that was kind of difficult for us was round 63. Other than that, we've been actually pretty much dominating. Trade Empire, believe it or not, actually does a good amount of pops, which is kind of weird, but it does. And then for my banana farm game, you're noticing kind of some weird action going on. My banana farms, I only got up to 3rd tier, not up to 4th tier. I thought those were some of the more cheaper, more efficient banana farms, but if I could go back in time, I think I would have stopped at 2-0 banana farms, just got those up to 5 of those guys, and then switched into merchant ships, and that might have made the game a little bit different. It's difficult to understand what the best way to go for it is, because every game is obviously going to be different, and every situation is going to be different. The amount of popping power you need, the amount of banana farms you can go for, and the amount of all overall stuff you can get is always going to be different. That's why I played it on the same map and tried to at least keep my variables down to an absolute minimum in this situation. Now you notice, the middle game and the left game both have very similar amounts of money. That's kind of intriguing, compared to my right side where I'm still spamming a lot of my lower tier merchant ships and all that. Now I'm starting to save up for my big boys. Or at least I'm trying to save up for the big boys at this point. This could maybe put a little bit of a damper on part of our income. It does take about 5 rounds to save up for a big banana farm, specifically a 5th tier banana farm. Possibly going for a bunch of 4th tier banana farms instead of saving up for this guy would have led to more money overall. And or if I spammed more of these 4th tier farms, but honestly it's pretty difficult to fit that many banana farms inside any map, let alone a map like this. And of course, I wanted to use Banana Farmer whenever possible, so that's why I decided to just go for this 5th tier instead of trying to go for a bunch of other random 4th tiers. But then after I get this 5th tier, I do decide to go for a bunch of other banana farms, specifically bottom path banana farms. That would be the normal pathway that I would go in my games. If I have one banana farmer, I'm going to use all of my banana farmer technologies all around that one guy, and then once I run out of room for that guy, I'm going to swap into the bottom path banana farms, just so I can make sure that I'm still making money over here, but I'm not doing anything too wild with having to pick up bananas all over the place or something like that. Now, the reason why, again, I made this video is not necessarily because in a normal hard game you're going to want to get up to $500,000 worth of assets, but in a game like a boss balloon, this might help you decide which things you should go for. Should you go for a farm boat combo? Or if you can spam over 20 boats, do you just go straight into those boats? And I think it's finally time to talk about our results. So, again, the left side is just banana farms, the middle is just buccaneers, and now you're going to notice we start to build banana farms after I've maxed out what I can fit boat-wise, including 4th tiers, alright? And then the right side is a banana farm start into a full boat game, back into banana farms once I get those guys going. And the results are that, believe it or not, the boat first was actually the most money by a pretty significant amount. It was in the upper $700,000. Now, the farm boat combo was actually very close behind it by a couple, about 30 grand. So, we're talking about, you know, when you're dealing with $700,000 plus, and we're talking about a couple percentage points difference here. So it really is not that big of a deal if you go for banana farms compared to banana farms with boats. And I think that depending on which banana farms you go for and how efficient you are with your defense, that could definitely play into the game a little bit. But both of those strategies seem to be a very viable and good strategy to go for, while the banana farms only actually suffered pretty hard. We're only in the $500,000, and that is a 20% difference. So definitely, whenever possible, don't just go banana farms. Either go for merchant ship farm combo or just go straight into the merchant ships. That was surprising to me, though. I thought that the banana farm merchant ship combo was actually going to be significantly better, because banana farms early game are pretty easy to get, where I feel like merchant ships, you got to save about $2,500 on top of the crow's nest upgrade, on top of the long range upgrade, on top of buying your boat, just to get your first ounce of money flowing. We're talking about almost $4,000 saved up. That's like saving up for a bank. That's absurd. But it doesn't really seem to matter. It doesn't really seem to matter. So it should also be noted that the game that took the longest to beat was also the game with the banana farms, as interesting as that was. So now you're going to see what I do is I sell everything in the game. All of the assets besides Quincy. Sometimes I sell the Dart Monkey, sometimes I don't, but he was free, and you're going to see the final numbers here. 491, 769, and 692. So, excuse me, $70,000 difference for the last 2 games here, farms only, or excuse me, farms and boats versus boats only into banana farms. So clearly, the winner by far in my test, which has a lot of variables, admittedly, is going to be boats only. So whenever possible, guys, I'm going to recommend it to you. You should go boats only on your thing. Or if you're feeling it, going for a combo of boats and farms with better defense than me, might be able to pull off a little bit higher than that. Any which way, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you press that like button. If you didn't, let me know why in the comments below. I honestly want to hear your opinions. I will be reading them because I'm not sure how I feel about these types of videos. There are a lot of weird work that doesn't necessarily equate to better videos, which is kind of sad. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed, press that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and of course, have a super duper delicious day.